but we make a wine which is our own style. Hi, I'm Steve Schubert. I'm the winemaker here at Schubert Estate. We have been making wine here since the year 2000. The Schuberts came to the Barossa Valley in the late 1890s. They grew crops, they had dairies, they moved into fruit growing and of course some grape growing. There have been Schuberts on this property since that time. The first grapes that were sold from the property were in 1915, and since then there has been a long history of grape production on this property. Originally the wine that we produced was only for our family and friends, but after a couple of years we submitted some wine to James Halliday, a well-known Australian wine judge, who gave us a very, very high rating. Schubert Estate is located on Rhinefield Road, Marananga, in the Barossa, an area highly regarded for its vineyards. A renowned wine judge was heard to say of Rhinefield Road that it's where the sun rises and sets on Shiraz in the Barossa, if not the whole world. Our winemaking processes tend to be very, I'll call it old-fashioned. We hand pick our grapes, we basket press, we give the juice in the early stages before it's wine as much time as it needs to ferment properly, to dry out properly, to become the sort of wine that we want it to be. Hand picking and basket pressing fits a lot better with the Schubert style of wine, and that is that we try to use the least amount of mechanical pressing, mechanical harvesting. By picking our grapes by hand, they tend not to get so bruised, and on top of that I can pick them when I think they're ready for picking. If you use a mechanical harvester, for example, you need to pick at the moment that that mechanical harvester is available. By hand picking, I can pick when I want to, when I think those grapes are ripe, and also the grapes that is, tend not to get knocked around so much. They don't bruise, they don't start fermenting before I'm ready for them to start fermenting. We tend to grow to a very low yield, 1.5 to 2 tonnes to the acre, whereas some other areas in South Australia, they're grown at 12 to 20 tonnes to the acre. So you can see that we grow a very minimal amount of grapes, and we find that this adds a much better taste to our wine. It gives us a more hands-on approach. We have more control over the whole thing. We don't use too much in the way of chemicals in the vineyard. We don't spray with any harsh chemicals. We use minimum amount of undervine weed sprays, and we try to keep our vineyard as natural as we possibly can. And this adds to the quality of the taste. We're not looking for volume, we're actually looking for a quality. work at Schubert Estate is actually in two folds. There's not only the grape growing and winemaking, but the second half of that, and one of the most important parts, is the accounts, the marketing, and all of the million other things that need to be done to run a successful winery. That part of the responsibility is reserved for my wife Cecilia, and she'll tell you how she came up with the design for our labels and the other tasks that she carries out.
Marketing Schubert Estate was more like targeting to a certain group of people. The direct target for our wine was the very interested wine drinker, the person who wants to find a rarer bottle of wine, something that isn't on the supermarket shelves, something that's more unique, a bottle of wine that you can proudly bring to a dinner party or give somebody for their birthday, and it's not a run-of-the-mill wine. The idea for the logo was to incorporate the letter S for the name Schubert, and also the goose, which we had at the time a lot of geese on the property, and we decided to name every wine after a different goose. So the combination of the letter S and the goose, bingo, there's our logo. One for closing today. Cheers!
Cheers.